I think it's about everybody's dream to actually get paid without working. Today's video, we're going to be looking at some options for passive income. So what exactly is passive income? It is income that you have to put little to no effort into. Now, a lot of the things in here, when you look at investments, when you look at properties, when you look at side hustles, some of those do take a little bit more of time and effort. Well, some of them are kind of truly passive income, meaning you can really set it up, you can forget it, and it will generate money for an incredible amount of time. Now, the regular cash flow is what people have been really focused on. Even a lot of people that I've seen in my professional life, it seems like they're more focused on exactly what they need on a day basis, a week basis, even as a month, where you got to cover the rent, you got to cover the insurance, the car payments, everything of that nature. They need X amount of dollars. So almost like a zero-based budgeting is what we're seeing, but they are coming in just bare minimum and making the bare minimum, meaning that if I need $27 to pay my cell phone bill, I'm going to work until I make that $27. And that is it, guys. I am done for the day, because that is the mentality that we're seeing of a much younger generation. Today's video, we're going to be looking at 11 passive income ideas. And some of these I actually do use, which I'll go a little bit more in depth. Number one being dividend stocks. Now, we did a video recently about the dividend stocks. This is probably one of the absolute most passive ways to get income. However, the bigger bank you have, the more money that you do have into dividend stocks, the more return you're going to get. So essentially, the point that you want to get to is when you're buying dividend stocks, you're actually going to use this passive income to build up the amount of stocks that you own in particular companies. When you get to a point of being able to start covering some of the expenses, that is the time that you kind of want to start taking some of that money. And the ultimate goal of passive income through dividend stocks is being able to cover all of your monthly expenses with the dividend yield that you are getting from these stocks. Now, in addition, guys, as much as I do not recommend doing the dividend stocks, dividend index funds and exchange traded funds are totally different. So dividend index funds actually take an entire group of stocks rather than holding those individual stocks, which in my opinion is a very, very big game changer. I like having the risk spread out with the index funds. Dividend aristocrats, there are a couple that really track and follow a lot of dividend portfolios. And there's a lot of companies, including Vanguard, Charles Schwab, that have index funds that are based just on the dividend index funds. So again, it is a group of companies, not the individual stock that you're purchasing, to actually get that dividend yield. Third one we look at is bonds and index funds. This has a lot less risk than we see with the stocks and with the dividend. The indexes, the bonds themselves actually carry a return almost like a CD, but the bonds again have a much lower return, but in turn, they are a lot safer investment than again, looking at your stocks. Bonds also have a lower volatility. In addition, a lot of them do pay a lot longer time. So again, if you're looking for passive income and you're looking for it for an extended amount of time, you can buy some bonds, 10, 20, 30-year bonds, which are kind of crazy. Your rates might not be that high, but if the rates go up, it's really, not worth it to have it. But if rates go down, like we see during COVID, having those bonds would be still a pretty good yield. Fourth one we look at, and one of my absolute favorite guys, high yield savings accounts. Now, it is the time where the Fed continues to increase rates, which means rates on high yield savings accounts, rates on CDs continue to increase. So if you're looking to save money, if you're looking to generate that passive income, now is the time, guys, because they are at the point that they are really rewarding savers and people that are saving money. There are a lot of high yield savings accounts, including M1 Finance. The link is right down below, guys. They offer a 5% yield on a high yield savings account. That is right, guys, 5%. When I think of like the S&P 500, where you might see an 8 to 10% every year, they're offering a 5% for a liquid savings account through M1, which is awesome to see. Number 5, we get into the rental properties. Now this, if they are fully rented, it is a little bit more expensive to get into real estate. But once you're in real estate, monthly long-term income from owning a property, not only do you see the appreciation of the property itself, but you can generate monthly passive income without doing anything when people actually pay you rent. Now, there are a couple things, and we shared a video a little while ago, that you really have to remember. And some of the long-term things are the maintenance of it, making sure that the properties are managed properly, making sure the bills are covered, making sure that all of the expenses with the rental properties do go in it. And like I said earlier, guys, some of the passive income strategies do have a little bit more of an active kind of case within there. Number 6 gets into the peer-to-peer lending. So if you've ever used a couple of Prosper Lending Club, if you've ever had loans that are kind of through those are actually peer-to-peer lenders. It's a little bit different than your traditional financial institutions. So actually, when you go in there, you can choose what loans you actually want to do with your money, or you can let the companies actually decide it for you. Again, a way to generate passive income. However, this does come again with a pretty high risk, because if someone actually stops paying on the loan that you funded with your own money, it's almost like you're the bank, someone is borrowing money from you. You could possibly out some of your money. And again, there are possibilities. The liquidity in this does have a little bit of liquidity, but with this, you were talking probably 3 to 5 years, possibly, to get the investment out with the peer-to-peer lending. Now, number 7, we look at private equity. Now, this is, again, kind of an interesting one, really for high net worth individuals. Most private equity requires $250,000 plus, which is a very considerable amount. But again, when you look at some of the things like artwork, when you look at, private investments, whether it's commercial real estate, whether it's REITs, things of that nature, you can get into some really private equity companies that, with the accreditation of investors, can make you a massive amount of passive income. Now, content creation is number 8, guys. That is right. It is the old YouTube, AdSense. It is TikTok. It is Reels. It is Instagram. Whatever you have, guys, content creation has taken off, and we have seen it. And they're talking about thousands. I mean, literally thousand. They're expecting the Content Creator Academy to grow by a huge multiplication factor in the next 10 years, which is kind of crazy when you look at, Patreon, when you look at blogs, when you look at affiliate marketing, when you look at commissions, when you look at links, when you look at everything. The content creator space has an incredible amount of upside, because it is a place where the more time and effort that you actually put into doing something, you can see the return. Now, again, passive income wise, might take a lot more to get established with channels. We're already up to 514 subscribers. And if you like the content, guys, go ahead and subscribe down below. But we are definitely growing this channel. Number 9, we get into the real estate investment trust, or the REITs. Now, I have used Main Street for this. What they do is they invest in commercial properties, or they invest in single family homes. So they're actually buying entire subdivisions. So instead of you going in and purchasing a home within the subdivision, it is a rental home. They do it for office spaces, they do it for retail spaces, apartment buildings, and they also do pay a high dividend. So essentially, when you're renting a home, you pay your monthly rent that you do own on the home. The rent comes back to the people who are investing in those projects, which is exactly what Mainvest is all about. And again, this is REITs. There are a lot of different ones that I was actually looking, again, over on M1. They have a lot of different REITs that you can go into. Make sure you do your homework, guys, because a lot of REITs you can only get out at specific times, or you're tied in for a certain amount of time. Number 10, we get into the crypto staking. That is right, guys. If you were on the big cryptocurrency kick a couple years ago, staking cryptocurrency can yield some pretty decent rewards. Even now through Coinbase, I use USDC. So I do have that coin. Again, that coin itself is tied to the US dollar 1-for-1, still yielding a 5% return on the USDC. So on the cryptocurrency that I do have over there, which I believe it is a stable coin, but still getting a 5% return. Crypto staking, again, you have to do your research, guys. There's a lot of staking that pays 10, 20, 30%. You have to make sure you know what you're getting into, and you have to know exactly the volatility with some of these coins, where you could see a 30, 40% loss in your investment. But on the flip side, you could see a 30, 40% gain on the flip side, again, because of the cryptocurrency that you have. Now, also be careful, guys, if you're in the United States, KuCoin and a couple other ones, including Coinbase, could be possibly moving outside of the United States. I know KuCoin is already, but it could make a big difference. And the final one we look at, guys, is the money market funds. Now, majority of places, it is better to do CDs. It is better to do investments. It is better to do those high yield savings accounts. But we have found some money market funds that are paying 4 or 5%, which is right on par. Again, what we're seeing now, these can have some special rules depending on the funds that you're in. So again, you have to do your research. Passive income, great way to jumpstart that debt consolidation, guys. paying and eliminating debt, getting that emergency fund built is really what you need to use this passive income for, or using these side hustles to really generate that additional money until you get to the point of creating the passive income, which is the way you want to do it. Guys, so let me know in the comments what you guys think, and I'll catch you in the next video.